Cody talks about his mother, dating, and the role that Tim played with him in his life. And we're going to still let him come up to share it.
With the Difilippo Triplets and their downfall. I kind of feel like I'm the one that isn't vocal. I was caught up in the middle of all of it, and I don't think a lot of people understand what an emotional toll it had on me. Paving the way to get these things, accomplished, and they were big successes. They were doing something that I feel like I was just like on the spot again, coming up with the power transferring and finding the original prop and figuring out what to do with all this stuff, making their designs, making their photos for their banners and stuff like that. I felt so complete, but just behind the scenes, I kept pushing aside the fact that there was just kind of a power struggle between me and the triplets. I was so prideful of how quick they were able to make an impression in their first event, which was Fat Collectibles, which was, I believe...
Look at this. My man got all the footage, but let me go acknowledge some people so people don't be cutting videos about me and stuff. Let me acknowledge.
Acknowledge me.
Matt Fisher said, OG Zio, red JDF, OG Zio, pink cat. Contributions make you think otherwise.
I believe in like October or November of 2021. I was happy with how they were showing like this sense of excitement. They were really just ready to go out there and get what they deserved. I really felt like the triplets deserved the same admiration and love in the Power Ranger fandom as anybody else did, because they were a part of that fan base. They did have a role in the show. I always said there is no role too small or too big for the Power Rangers, and I always felt like the motto, once a Ranger, always a Ranger, applied. They were a actual Power Ranger. And even now I'm saying this, I already lost them, and they don't want to talk to me, apparently. They've never communicated with me. They just up and blocked me off my phone and everything. They just don't want to communicate with me.
That got to be messed up, right? You help these people come back, make their entry back, and then one brother crashes out. You lose your father figure, and then in turn they block you. But
I remember the first time I worked with them in, I believe it was the Comic Bug. Or it could have been the Comic Bug, or it was... I don't remember. It could have been We Can Be Heroes Comics, I think. Might have been the next one. I can't remember. But what ended up happening at that point, I remember before we prepped, they wanted me to, I don't know, I had another agent involved, Brandon Benfield. And
all right, that's Brandon Benfield. We're still hoping he comes up in a little bit once he gets settled in his hotel. But there he goes. So he reaches out to Brandon Benfield and says, "Hey, help me with the three."
Brandon and I have, for the past, I want to say almost decade, had a pretty good, friendship.
Beautiful wife, beautiful wife, Cody Blythe. Comma, Cody Blythe.
I never felt like Brandon was ever an opposer to anything. So I had many people under my belt when it came to contacting them. I asked Brandon to help me push them out because Brandon knows what he's doing. And I had also, MDMC talent agency, Martha. I had her involved, and I just felt like that was just like the dream team because they knew what they were doing. I was helping them. We were all kind of we were kind of new to the business at the same time almost. And I wanted to so bad, make this work. So I got the best people that I knew involved. And almost immediately there was a lot of pushback. so much pushback that I had to sit there with, like, I feel like I was a cliche with a piece of paper and a pencil in my mouth. I'm just sitting there listening to them. It's like, look, I'm taking mental notes. I'm trying to play devil's advocate here. I understand that you guys are upset, but listen, I know Brandon, and I'm going to tell you that he's going to do the best that he can do to get you guys out there. I kept pushing that and pushing that. The first instance it was an issue was the banner.
All right. Now, what do you think the issue was with the banner? Come on, guys. What's the issue? What's always been the issue?
Brandon, on top of him handling people, also did banner work. And he did make the first banner. The one thing that I remember from that banner when it came out was there was a few ooh and ahs coming from all three of them. And then a silent step back of disbelief when they didn't have the word original Gold Ranger put on that banner.
All right. That is the cue to bring in our guy, Cody. All right. That was you guys. This is Cody. This is the guy you see right now. How are you doing, Cody? How have you been holding up since this all happened?
I apologize if you guys hear my air conditioner in the background. My air conditioner was broken, so they did a portable, and that's like right here. So hopefully you guys don't hear that. Anyway, well, since that happened, I look at this video as a means for me to move on from it. I've had my emotions completely torn apart by the triplets. And I feel like it's my fault for even bringing them out sometimes, because they have expressed to me many times before in a 10, 12-year period that they didn't want to come back at first. And I'm going to explain this to you. There was a point, I talked to Tim almost every night. After my mom passed away, Tim and I got a lot closer. Okay. I was moving from home to home. It was really hard for me to really get any kind of connection with anybody. As I said in that video, my mother actually said maybe a week or so before she passed away, she wanted me to be closer with Tim because Tim felt like I was the son he never had,
Mm-hmm.
And, I have an impetuous history with father figures. Even my own father, he was in and out of prison, and I never really got to see him. I had a stepfather that my mom was pretty quick to kind of, leave. And she kind of was always that woman that said, I don't need a man in my life to be happy. Bravo for her. She raised 2 children. One, me being autistic. I can't imagine what it was like to raise someone like me, all by herself. So I didn't feel like I really could connect with a father figure. But Tim really felt like a comfortable person to be around and talk to. I can confide in him. And what hurt the most was, this business kind of put a huge shroud of darkness between us. And I remember the one thing that I told him was after Ranger stopped, this was before they canceled, I said, I'm quitting. I don't want to ruin our relationship. I told him this. I was hanging out with, I hope he doesn't mind me name dropping, Wally Wingert. We went to a Chinese restaurant, me and Tim with him. He was the Blue Psycho Ranger.
Uh-huh.
And we hung out with him. I told him, this is my last ride. I'm not doing it anymore. I just don't want to ruin our friendship or our relationship, whatever it is. Sure enough, when Ranger Stop happened, it seemed like my last hurrah was meant to be the one that was hello, Captain Titanic, this ship's in 2 pieces situation. I was really plugging holes, but that ship was sinking real quick. And I hate it. I really hated it. So I never got to go to Ranger Stop. They never got to go to Ranger Stop. I actually lost $300 or $400 on a flight because of it.
Okay.
Continue.
What did you think about this whole OG argument that just kind of was at the bane, just hey, we are OGs, acknowledge us. Why do you think there was so much emphasis? He said that Austin St. John called them the OGs, and that was the stamp on things. But why do you think that they just were so hung up on OG being in all their production?
Their obsessive need to be famous. I don't know if you knew this. I'm throwing shade right now because I have nothing.
Let him
I lost everything in this situation. But the thing is in my head, I've always had to hear a specific story. When you were talking about, was it Tommy or Teddy that was talking about his divorce or whatever, the jealous wife or whatever it was?
Teddy was talking about his divorce.
Okay, so here's the thing. I don't know if anybody knows this, but the triplets were actually supposed to be in one of the Matrix sequels. And the reason why they are so pushy about wanting to be out in the public and be in movies and TV shows and be famous again is because it was actually because of that woman that caused that actually they were supposed to go audition and one of the triplets didn't come back.
What?
And it ruined it for the other two.
Oh.
They were supposed to all three be there, but one of them decided to screw it up for everybody. Again, it's one of those
Which one was it?
It was Teddy.
Oh my God. Oh, so they were supposed to have a role similar to this guy's right here. Like if you remember the twins from the Matrix 2, they probably was going to be in the third one or something.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh my God. Way to fumble the goddamn ball. Oh man, dropping bombs. Okay.
But it's just, going back to the OG situation, like I had said, Brandon did the first banner. They kind of were forcing me to do a second banner afterwards because I also do graphic designing. And I did. They were very particular about it too. They're just like, okay, we need the word OG to be more prominent. It needs to be at the top. It can't be at the bottom. It can't be in the center. It has to be the word OG needs to be like on its own. And I'm like,
and they were all obsessed with this OG word.
Yes.
Oh.
I mean, to the point that there was a point where I was at the Spider-Man No Way Home Hollywood premiere. Tim had dropped me off. I was hanging out with some friends over there at the Chinese Theater. And Tim was with me, and Brandon was calling because I told him, I said, I think the triplets are about to drop you, dude. And he obviously, it was like he was trying to do damage control, and I don't blame him. But in the situation where I was at a damn Spider-Man premiere, which I've never done before, it was like my dream. I kind of kept leaving him on read, and I'm so sorry, Brandon. I kept ignoring calls.
Brandon, if you're watching this, he's sorry. Okay.
Me and him are still friends. We're still talking to each other. We still have our passerby and talk conversations. It was like we had to do damage control on that situation because the entire reason why they wanted to fire Brandon in the first place is because that banner was
to them.
That banner was the thing.
Oh my God.
The second thing is that banner took I think too long to make. And Brandon obviously had other clients that he was working with. So he was doing other promotional stuff. He was prepping for other conventions and stuff. They didn't understand. They wanted him to be there at his beck and call every single second of the day. And I felt bad for Brandon. I was just like, I just brought you into hell.
Okay, all right. Oh my goodness.
Can I also add, I'm going to add to this. It got so real to the point where Teddy and Tommy were fist fighting in their living room right over the banner because they were trying to argue with each other about what to do. And one of them wanted to fire Brandon. The other one didn't. There was just a collective fist fight in that situation.
Oh my goodness. Oh my, I can't imagine managing or even helping people like that. Now, let's get back to you. Okay. Ted made a video. You were in the video where he said he was doing it for you, sticking up for you because you were, I think he made some allegations that you were bullied in the industry. Could you speak to that?
Oh, yeah. No, I can explain that I was fresh out of high school. First of all, I graduated in 2011, and Power Rangers was kind of my comfort, show. Again, I went through a lot of stuff in my life as someone with autism, and mentally I've grown up a lot since the last decade or so. But at the time, I was angry with the world, and I tended to really step on some toes in the Power Ranger fandom. I got blacklisted in a few places, groups and stuff like that. And I actually was deemed at one point the most hated person in the Power Ranger fandom. I think by some random person. I don't think that's true. if that was the case, I wouldn't have never made my way into the position I was in because, there's a few people out there that I apparently stepped on toes with.
Yeah, I think someone else is the most hated in the industry now, but I can't. I forget his name.
Yeah. Thanks for passing the torch.
Oh man. Okay. So yeah, can you speak to the bullying? You stepped on toes. You were blacklisted in the industry, but
go ahead. Sorry.
He specifically said that, hey, you were getting picked on in the Power Ranger community.
I was. There was a point that people were actually attacking me for being autistic. They were making memes. There was a point where someone tried to say that I was a child rapist, which were things that like obviously are not true. They said I remember one, actually, it was really weird. They said that there's proof of me taking a bag of cats and beating it upside a tree and dragging it down a river.
Yeah, that's a real one.
I was like, where do you guys come up with this stuff?
That's eerily specific. Like you would expect someone to witness that.
Yeah, I was like, I never met you before in my life. I'm just a casual walk by in the Power Ranger fandom. You know, you're upset because I wanted to buy a Megazord for $20 and you're asking almost $150 for it. Like, okay, cool. Yeah, we're gonna have a fight about this. That was what it was. It was like Power Ranger buy-sell groups and stuff like that. But yeah, no, I mean, with the bullying and stuff, they were like personally attacking me and my family to the point my mom had to take my laptop away from me and a bunch of stuff. And Tim stepped in and, he kept saying something along the lines of, it's like people from certain higher ups, forums and conventions were saying, if you communicate with Cody Blythe again, we're going to blacklist you, which I don't think is true. I think he was using that just to kind of drive some kind of weird point.
I see. Okay, I get that. I get that.
I really hardly ever remember any of the things that happened almost. That was like 12 years ago, dude.
Okay. All right. So you dropped the bombshell that they were in talks to be in the Matrix. What did you think about them like calling some of the other people out, like Nakia and Catherine Sutherland, because they were on their show and then they flipped out later?
I actually ended up recording a video and we're sending it to Kat and Nakia and apologizing because I was the one that actually like told them that we were fixing to bring the triplets back when we went to an event when I was out in California. And they were excited about it and stuff like that. But like me, I felt responsible because there were people actually messaging me knowing that I represented them, saying that, why can't you tighten the leash? What's going on? Why are you letting them be free like this? Acting stupid like this. I was like, they're grown men. Like, what am I supposed to do in this situation?
Yeah, one is like a father figure you look up to, and you newly into the industry, and they are just going off the rails over OG. They're crashing out, saying people are not promoting them. Can you speak to the rumor that they purchased 450,000 Instagram followers?
No, that rumor, I don't know, because I manage their social media in some ways, because I didn't see anything like that. I manage their Instagram. I didn't see any bot purchasing or anything like that. I'm just being honest with you. I did not see any of that. But, then again, also Tommy and Teddy were managing that social media account too. So,
okay. And you said something about JDF, that they didn't really like JDF or something to that effect.
They didn't like anybody. I'm just being honest with you. They were name dropping a lot of people. When it wasn't Austin St. John, it was Jason David Frank. When it wasn't Jason David Frank, it was freaking Brad Hawkins. They were trying so hard to find someone to point the finger at. I will be honest with you, though, about when JDF passed away. I actually got the news from Brandon, I think 18 hours before everybody else did. He ended up asking. And I against my better judgment, I told Tim. They were in the middle of eating dinner with Sam Jones, Flash Gordon.
Mm-hmm.
And I told Tim was really just in disbelief. Teddy took it a little bit more personally, like he just had his entire life kicked in. And Tommy, of course, is just nonchalant about like, oh, okay.
Okay. So when they start doing cons, was that their main source of income?
No. I really don't know what their main source of income was. From what I remember, Tim told me something along the lines of like he was doing some like home health like help like stuff for like helping people. He was like, you know, his mother was had MS and stuff like that, so he got into that field. I don't remember, to be honest with you. It was really nothing I really actually discussed with them.
Okay. What about how they were treated at Power Morphicon? Were they complain about their seating? Did they ever talk to you about that?
Can I talk? I'm going to talk about this real quick. Nobody knows this, but I'm going to let it out. I actually mentioned it in my video later on. But so what ended up happening is we're setting up at the convention. We have actually, our table is actually right across from Blake Foster, and it's right at the door, like right at the door where people are entering. And I thought it was a perfect spot, but they didn't. They wanted to be seated next to Catherine and Nakia, their castmates. That was what they wanted.
Okay.
I remember the first thing that Tommy did was he was essentially harassing Serena Vincent, Lost Galaxy Yellow, trying to get an agent name out of her. And I told him to sit down. Like, you need to stop right now. And then off to the side is Tim and Ted fixing to get into a fist fight because Ted wants the T-shirts that we had laid out on the table. And Tim is wanting all of the photos to be displayed. And they're trying to decide what photos they want. They're bringing up the calendar photos and stuff like that. I was like, this is a Power Ranger convention. 90% of the people here are straight, white, nerdy men. They're not going to want shirtless photos of you, okay? They're going to want a Power Ranger photo. So we're going to focus on those. We didn't have a lot of room for the T-shirts, and they wanted each one displayed. I went looking for hangers just so we could hang them up behind them right next to the banner, and I absolved the whole thing. I prevented an entire fist fight before people came in on day one. I was proud of myself.
Wow.
I literally was preventing children from fighting.
Oh my goodness.
But yes, they were fighting over a lot of things, including placement, who they should have been seated by, where things should have been, how much money they were making, everything that you can think of. There was an argument about it. Were
they making good money?
Oh, no. I think I ended up talking to Brandon because both me and him were doing different things. Tim obviously wanted to help me out financially because I was struggling coming out of, finding, some kind of, money and stuff like that. And I wanted to do a career off of this. So I think I got maybe 10% and he got 10% or something like that. And we maybe made $200 or $300 each. So that means they only made $2,000.
Yeah, maybe $4,000.
Wasn't a lot.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. 10%. So y'all got 20% was $400. Okay, yeah. That's wild. And they had to pay for their own flights?
Well, in Power Morphicon, they lived in Simi Valley. So we drove there.
Oh, okay. Okay,
yeah.
So that was all profit.
Yeah, for them, yeah.
Oh, all right.
I essentially had to pay my flight with the measly $200 that I made, but just to get home, but still, I had a lot of fun and a lot of experiences, despite them being very bad experiences now.
Okay.
I ended up selling my entire Power Ranger collection because of this situation.
How much did you sell it for? Just curious.
Well, my friends own a toy shop out here in my area, and they're some of my closest friends. And he actually has a majority of my collection up on display in the store. It says not for resale on the top.
Okay.
So I think I sold it to him for maybe $500 or $600.
Oh,
to be honest with you. Yeah.
Okay.
Like it destroyed the illusion of Power Rangers for me going through this.
Jesus. All right.
I have one little figure of the man right here to represent.
JDF, huh?
Yep.
Salute to my man Dust dropping memberships on the Clips channel. What was going through your mind when like JDF passed? And you said you got the news before a lot of other people.
I was watching Titanic when I got that phone call. It's just
like,
so weird. I mean, I like Titanic. I mean, I put that back there for a reason. But like I was watching that, and then Brandon was posting some really like offshoot, like mystical like messages and stuff like that on his Facebook, and then deleting them. I was like, dude, what's going on? He's like, I don't know when it's appropriate to say it, but he told me pretty much that JDF passed away. He didn't tell me why. He didn't tell me how it happened. But I ended up finding out through him, and then I started learning it was because of. Well, I can't say that word on here, can I?
No. Please don't say it.
Yeah, I'm not going to say it. But like, because of the reason he passed away, it kind of destroyed me a little bit because I've been going through a lot of my own personal mental health issues. I don't have any of my parents anymore. Both my parents died before the age I turned 30. Okay. I don't have a lot of people to turn to. I've been taking care of myself lately, and as someone with autism, it's really hard to do. So, finding out that someone like that, who brought so many smiles, had that much energy, can carry a crowd like a king, he going out the way he did destroyed me because I felt weak in the moment. It was like if someone that strong could be in front of me and be my hero and be someone that I looked up to can fall so hard, does that mean that I'm not strong enough anymore? Like that really kind of made me think about that. Like I was having some deep conversations with myself.
Well, look, man, when things get tough, the Resilient Army, we're always looking for more people. In every email I sent you, there's a Discord link. We do have a really good community over there, but they've called me racist today. That and a hate mongering, all these other things, but it's a really good group. It's almost like 1,000 people on there. But there is a Power Rangers section where they talk Power Rangers. We got general chat, we got Twitch drama, but it is a nice community. So if you ever want to get some friends, call there. We do like meetups, impromptu. We was playing like Pictionary last night. It's a really great community, man, and we'll be happy to have you if you got some time and you want to.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Like,
go check it out.
I will. I appreciate it. I mean, my muse is doing my YouTube channel. Like, I do a lot of fun content.
Yeah, you know what? Let's show off your YouTube channel. Before you get out of here, give me a second. Let me get it back up on screen, guys. So do us all of what? Where is it at? Where is it at? It's right here. So I want everyone to go to Cody's House of Geek. Whoa. I'm about to post a link to his what the hell? What? I didn't
online is like all different I
didn't messed up the link. I gotta find it now. I got about 1,000 tabs open. Don't worry. Cody House of Geek. We'll get it up. We'll get you some subs.
I appreciate it, man. I'm not begging for subs, man. I've been doing it all natural for the past 10 years. I'm only about to break 6,000.
We'll give you the Henry Resilient stimulus package for coming on stream.
Where's my loan too?
All right, so here's his channel. Let me post it on all channels because we're streaming across Discord. Not Discord. Sorry, YouTube, Twitch, all that good stuff. Go check out his content. Let's see what we got here. Let's go to the pop. I always go to the pop.
I do thrifting videos. There's Power Ranger videos. God, some of these videos are so old, man.
Hey, these are the ones people be loving to see. They always want to see their origin story. Where'd you start? You know what I'm saying?
I started off as a Power Ranger collector. I used to go by Ranger Collector 62492 on YouTube.
Wait. Are you the guy that Teddy was talking about? Like, this guy is making these comments, Ranger Collector?
That wasn't me. Jeez, it would be funny if that was the twist, wouldn't it?
That would be crazy. Okay, look, some people are already saying they subbed. Dust is dropping membership after membership. Any last words, Cody, that you want people to say, man, to know about you, maybe know about the situation?
I have said many times over that my voice has been the minority in this situation. I was the closest to all three of them. When people wanted to talk to them, they would call me first to get a hold of them. As a matter of fact, for 10 years, I had so many people actually asking, hey, can we get the triplets? We want them to come to this event. We want to do the signing. That is the thing that people don't know, and I'm trying so hard not to defend them. But the fact is that people did want them out there. They just fell so hard on that sword and impaled themselves. I hate that I brought them out. That is my biggest regret right now, is that
Dan, I see you in the back. Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry to interrupt.
This whole thing ruined a really good friendship that I had with Tim. I have not talked to him in almost 2 years.
Okay, if you could say one thing to Tim right now, what would it be?
I mean, I would just want to know why. I want to know why, like, it was that easy to throw me away.
Damn.
As much as he claimed to have loved and cared about my mom and promised her on her deathbed that he would keep an eye on me and, you know, do all the right things by her, why did you do this? That's all I want to know.
All right. Thank you, Cody, for coming up, man. Join the Discord, man.
Yeah, man. I appreciate it.
Maybe we'll play Pictionary sometime. But now we got to bring up my guy, Mr. whose pullout game has to be